So, as these challenges continue, the question is going to be how you hold it. The question is going to be how you hold it, and the question is going to be who are you being in relationship to it. So, the Chinese symbol for crisis is the same symbol for opportunity. The question is, as these challenges continue, will you take the opportunity, or will you pass it up so that you don't get the opportunity to experience being present in such a way that the circumstances that exist are not determining your well-being, are not determining who you are not threatening the experience that's possible for you to have of being happy simply because you exist. So that's the challenge. You know, when we practice meditation, we're practicing being present, simply being present. And this presence that we're practicing being is the awareness that's stable, that's constant. It's the awareness that is not threatened by impermanence. It's not threatened by circumstances, life circumstances. So there's an opportunity that's being presented for us to look and see, who am I being? How am I holding this? Can I experience the possibility of being the space in which this is happening? Can I experience the possibility of being the awareness of what's happening rather than identifying with the body, whether identifying with the thoughts, identifying with the fear, with the emotions, identifying with the reactions. Obviously, if this wasn't a real possibility, then the whole idea of practicing meditation and the whole idea of being exposed to these ancient wisdom teachings would be nonsense. But if you pay attention and you really look closely and examine what's happening, it's possible to see that what most people consider to be real is actually theoretical. And what most people consider to be unreal has actual evidence for its existence. Most people consider the personality to be real, the identity to be real. And yet there's no evidence for that. That's theoretical. The only evidence that is ever produced for that occurs in thinking, that I think. I think that I think. I think that I am. However, the evidence for the existence of the awareness that you are is actual. It's not a thought. In fact, without the existence of awareness, thought couldn't exist. So it is the fundamental ground of being. It is the possibility of freedom. It is what doesn't change. It is what is not affected by what is changing. We can see what's impermanent and we can see what's changing because what we are is not changing. If that wasn't the case, we couldn't see change. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge. As you go through life, you will either continue to experience being threatened and fearful and trying to avoid threats, trying to recover from situations where you were traumatized, trying to be happy, trying to be safe, trying to survive. And yet, if you really open your eyes, if you really look and see what's so, which is obvious, it's not hidden, is that this is a hopeless endeavor. The only reality is to be present to the truth. And if you are present to the truth, you'll discover that as things happen and as things pass and as feelings arise and as thoughts arise and as reactions arise, as you remain present, they arise and they pass. And the presence that you are remains. To know this theoretically is not of much use. But to practice this when you practice meditation, and to practice this view, to practice being aware and stabilizing the experience of yourself as awareness as you go through the day, will allow you to experience the possibility of freedom, the possibility of fulfilling the experience of being a human being. Because the fulfillment of the experience of being a human being is not to be found in identifying yourself as a personality or a body. The fulfillment of being a human being is to be found in transcending the limitations that appear to exist as a human being, and to come to recognize your true nature. So I hope that as time passes and we go through this period that's very challenging, this period that is threatening, feels threatening, that you're willing to pay attention in such a way where you can be present and experience that your presence remains stable and your presence remains undamaged, unthreatened, untouched by the circumstances that exist. In all of our lives, as time passes, we will inevitably have to face the challenge of being sick, inevitably have to face the challenge of being old, inevitably have to face the challenge of dying. So don't wait. Face the challenges now. Experience the possibility now, so that you can enjoy the fulfillment of the experience of who you actually are, instead of continuing to attempt to avoid what seems to be threatening and to attempt to hold on to what seems to provide safety. This isn't about faith and believing in some higher power. This is about realizing that you are the higher power. That there is no difference between the God that people have faith in and the experience of the awareness that you are. And the beauty of this is that it's already the case. The best part of the truth is that it's already the case. It's not something that you have to change to experience. It's not something that you have to work to become. It's something that you have to simply relax into and allow yourself to recognize. So as I have been saying since I started teaching this class, I really want to encourage you to continue to practice meditation consistently every single day. Have it be a period of time when you can experience the truth, when you can experience freedom, when you can experience yourself as the space of awareness in which life shows up. And if you do that consistently, and if you develop a familiarity with that experience and you begin to stabilize it, life will become easier and easier. And just the fact of awareness, just the presence itself, will take care of the circumstances that you find yourself in. So, that sounds a little preachy. I don't want to be preachy. I do want to just continue to encourage you to take advantage of this opportunity. Opportunities don't have to feel good. You know, right now, if you look at the situation we're in politically, or you look at the situation we're in globally in terms of the ignorance that pervades humanity, that's resulting in ignoring climate change, that's resulting in ignoring corruption, that's resulting in people resisting the guidance that is intended to help them be healthy, and consider that a violation of their rights. That may all look like a dark reality. It may all look like we're going backwards. But that's only because of our perspective. If we could see things from a more panoramic view, we may see that progress always involves going backwards. If you really look at your life, you know, you had to go backwards to go forward. You have to make mistakes to learn. And so humanity right now is in a learning process, and humanity is in an evolutionary process. And it doesn't necessarily feel good, but nonetheless, you have to trust that in a larger perspective, things are moving in the right direction.